Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. Today we're going to be melting the wax cappings that we got here in our decapping station from when we extracted our honey. So I'm going to put all of the cappings in here into this roaster oven. And first I'm going to put a little bit of water in there so the wax floats on top of the water, so the debris will be on the bottom of the wax. I'll give you a close-up of what we got going on here. And I also have some wax in there in the freezer from, just normal inspections when you scrape off burr comb and things like that. I got several balls of that in there, and I'm going to throw that in here as well. Hoping it'll all fit in this roaster oven. I'll just do it in one run. So I do have a solar wax melter, but I have too much to do for that small of a process. It doesn't do very much at a time, just a little bitty bread box. So let's get started. Okay, real quick, we'll show you here the cappings we have. So you don't want to leave these things sitting around very long because larvae will get started in there. There's probably already a few in there because it's been 4 weeks, I think, since we extracted our honey. Anyway, you can see it's a lot of wax in there. We need to get this all melted and processed. I'll use some of it to put back on some of my plastic frames that I use, and the rest of it we'll use to make lip balm and things like that. So we just have a regular rival roaster oven here, and this is an old one that I use just for doing this, so I don't cook out of this anymore. This is all we use it for. You can pick them up pretty cheap at Walmart day after Thanksgiving, around 20 bucks. Okay, I put a little bit of water in here, and you see wax floats. So the wax will be at the top after it's melted, and any impurities will go down to the bottom. Then we bust it out of here after it's cooled off and scrape all the bad stuff off the bottom. So let's get loading the thing up. If you look right there, there's already some, I see poop from larvae. So there's some already working in here. Looks like there's going to be plenty of room. And put it on about 200 degrees. That should do it. Okay, we've got all these big chunks of wax just from working in the beehives through the year. I just kind of put them in balls, and as I get a big enough ball, I'll bring it up and put it in the freezer. Hey, these have some drone brood in them. Should probably go give that to the chickens. Okay, that's it. So just going to let these warm up and get melted. It'll probably take an hour or two, so we'll come back and check on it in a little bit. Okay, come over here to check this out, and man, the bees have found this. They can smell it, and they're after all that wax. There's wax down there that they're getting off the ground. So they're all over in here. Some of that wax may have had some honey in it, but just wanted to see how this was doing. Man, we got bees everywhere. So let's take a look in here real quick. It's melted around on the sides, but not in the middle yet. Give it a quick stir. You can see how it's melting right there. Probably be ready in another hour or so. Okay, it's been about an hour. Let's take a quick look in here and see what it looks like. So you can see it's mostly melted out on the edge, just some of this here in the center. Give it just a little bit longer. Then we'll let it cool. And the wax should all be on the top. Okay, it's been a couple of hours, so let's take a quick look in here and see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Got a little bit of junk in here. So we need to filter out these cocoons and things while we can and get those out of there. You kind of see. That's what's inside those, inside the comb where brood has been. So I'm going to use this strainer here to kind of scoop some of that out. And I'll just dump it over here on this cardboard. If this was just pure cappings, none of that stuff would be in there. So I'm going to get all this out that I can, then let it cool, and it should layer itself out. So we'll check back after it's cooled off. Okay, you can see here the big pile of sludge. Kind of put it next to that strainer for reference of size. So that'll, you can see a little bit of the wax coming out there, running down on the table. But running out of it, but here's the remaining wax inside. I'll put the light in here so you can kind of see a layer of the wax, and below that is kind of some more garbage down in the bottom of it. So I think that's below that is water. So you got your wax, then your junk, then it's floating on top of water. Okay, I'm going to try and show you how. So you can see the layer in here. Get this flashlight down in here. So I got my spoon. You see the spoon going in, and right there it's hitting a layer of stuff. And so you got pure wax from here to right there, and then down from below that is where the water is. So you can kind of see we've got probably a 1/2 inch of wax, and that's you know, you can see how clear the wax is. So we've cleaned all the impurities out of the wax, the big stuff. So we're just going to let it cool, and then we'll get it out. Okay, it's the next day, so it's nice and cool off now, so let's get in here and see what we find. Got a nice thing of wax sitting here, and it's not attached to the walls, so that's a good thing. Be easy to get out. Get you close up there. So you can see it didn't attach to the walls, it shrunk up a little bit, so that's a good thing. I've seen it where it's hard to get out, where it sticks to the wall, whatever container you have it in. So let's get it out here on this cardboard and see how much we got, see what it looks like. Okay, well, it sure smells good. So there's all the trash I was talking about that we'd see. So that just needs scraped off. It's kind of got a curve to it. So you can see it's nice and clean up here. So we'll just set it out here and let it dry. And we can scrape this off. See all that sludge. So we'll get all this off of here and we'll remelt it in a cleaner container, and then we'll filter it. So get it a lot cleaner. This is just the first stage of the process. Looks like it's got a nice big crack right down the middle there. Just a little bit of junk around the edges. Pretty good chunk of wax. It's the biggest I've ever had. I think it's probably 2.5, 3 pounds, I'd guess, maybe 4. Just gonna let it dry, and then we'll scrape on it some more.